gotta see it this way. How do you bring somebody on? Hey, what's going on? How do I bring people on camera, man? That's what I want to do. This is an exciting, incredibly exciting live stream right now. Hey, so we're live chatting. I want to figure out, can anybody hear me? Check 1, 2. I see the green dots going. I don't know. I'm bummed I can't use. Can you guys hear me? Anybody here? I've never done chatting on live on YouTube. I've done it on Facebook and Instagram, and YouTube's pretty cool, but there's some things I got to figure out. You guys can hear me? Okay. All right. Okay, cool. Does anyone know how to bring people on camera on the screen? Let's see if I can figure it out here. That's my whole point today is participants. That's easy. Okay. Pop out chat. No, that's not it. Okay. Anyways, what's up, everybody? Okay, great. I'm glad you can hear. But it's a bummer. I'm going to work on getting this set up so that you can hear my bass, because it's funny. I play my bass, and what I do on my stuff, it's through this thing. Can you see that thing right there? So that's like my interface that helps me make all the music. And but to do YouTube live streaming, I can't use that. I can't use that. I have to use the internal mic in my iMac. So I'm trying to figure out, I'll get it wired. I'll figure it out. But I specifically did this live stream because somebody asked me a question about the music industry on Instagram. I'm not sure if they're here. Are you here? Who was the one? Was it you, Michael? Somebody let me know. Hey, I recognize some faces, some names here. Of course, Chelsea. I recognize Mason Matlock, Maxwell Porter, Chris Simpson. Anyways, some people that were joining me from the guitar giveaway, which went to Josh, I believe, Jay Sparks or something, 12. But it's nice to see some names and faces. I've never live streamed on YouTube, and I'd like to get it wired where I can really, I don't know, have a pretty cool camera angle on kind of what I'm doing. You can hear what I'm doing in the studio, but it's going to be a little bit of a process to figure out. So thanks for kind of hanging in there. Anyways, oh yeah, Maxwell Porter, you found you through Marty Music. Marty's the man. Who here knows Marty Schwartz from Marty Music? Show of hands in the comment section. Let me see. Actually, I could plug into a little amp over here, maybe, and play something. But I want to let, who is it? I actually have my phone here. I can do it this way. I had this thing. I was going to go here. Going to do live streaming through that. But I actually like it through the computer because I have this cool camera. This little camera on top of my thing here. But let's see here. It was on, he DM'd me through Instagram. It's Christopher. Where's Christopher? He's supposed to be here. He had a question about, it was cool. He asked me, he likes my content. He's a big fan of Sugar Ray. He said, what's my biggest piece of advice for someone who wants to work in the music business? He said, hope all is well. Keep up the great work. And I said, thank you so much. And what I said was, I got to know a little bit more about you. So why don't we just live stream? Why don't we just kind of do a chat, you know? Because that's a big question. And there's more to it than, you know, maybe just one answer. So let's see. Oh, Chris Simpson, he's on. Check out the hands. Yeah, I like the hands. What's up, the hands? This is fun, man. So I got started. This whole channel got started from Facebook, actually. I started doing a thing called Bass Friday on Fridays because this is how it started. A kid asked me, he said, hey, he wanted some advice. A really talented musician, this kid. And I said, start posting more, because I looked at his content. And there wasn't a lot of content on his YouTube or Instagram or wherever that he was posting stuff. And I'm like, you got to post more. And then after I said that, I thought about myself and I go, what about me? I'm not posting anything. I looked at my YouTube. I had like nothing. I had like, so I'm like, well, why don't I just put my money where my mouth is? Why don't I show him that I'm going to post? And so I did that. It just happened to be a Friday, like the next day or something. I just posted something. I went online and I played bass to I don't know what. And I kind of got hooked, and I started doing it every Friday. And so that's how this whole thing got started, on like a dare to myself, saying, hey, why don't you post more? Put yourself out there more. And I don't know why I wasn't. It could go deep and varied, and I could dive into the deep end of the swimming pool by saying I was in Sugar Ray and all this kind of stuff. And after the band has now, the original members are not together. I don't know. I took a break from music because it was I just wanted a break from it. And then when I came back to it, I started writing again a little bit, but it was, I don't know. There's a lot of reasons why we don't do things, I think. And, the cliche, you can say it's fear or whatever, but I just, one day, when he asked me, the kid, I'm like, post more. And then I just turned the mirror on myself and I said, why don't I? So that's how this whole thing got started. So I have him to thank. And so, yeah. So thank you. Maxwell Porter. No, I did not go to college for music. I took a couple lessons when I was 15, I think 14 or 15. And I didn't like them because the guy didn't ask me what I wanted or what I liked. He didn't really look at me in the lessons. He just said, start playing a scale. And he showed me a couple scales, and he didn't really, that was it. It was really uninspiring and really just not what I wanted. So I quit, and I went home and I started a garage band a cruddy little band in my garage in Irvine, California, where I actually went to school, the same high school, with Tim and Zach from Rage Against the Machine. They were 1 year younger than me. And I just started a band, and we started playing like Sex Pistols covers, or maybe the Ramones, just real simple punk rockish kind of tunes. And so that was the coolest thing in the world. And anyway, so that's the long answer to your question. Where'd you hit? Oh, to Maxwell Porter. That I did not go to college for music. No, I just started playing it, and after that, I got obsessed. And I would just sit here, and I would just hold the guitar, and I would just figure out. I would just play the shapes. I just played. I just found so much joy in sitting there and making sounds and trying to figure out what sounds I liked and what sounds I didn't like. Ultimately, it comes down to that. When you talk in music theory is just the understanding of why music works and doesn't work. There's probably a lot of definitions of it that might fall short, but in a way, that's really what it is, because it's like the rules of music, and then there are no rules. But for what you think works and what you think doesn't, that's where theory comes in. A really amazing guy, Victor Wooten, this incredible bass player. You guys should look him up, Victor Wooten. Let me write his name down. He's insane. I actually I have a reaction video of his. I think I did 2 on my channel. So maybe you are. There he is. Victor Wooten, I wrote his name down. The guy is so amazing, super respected, incredible musician, but he's also, I love the way he talks about theory. Because he's like, I don't start with theory. I do not start with theory. Theory only comes into play when there's a problem. I'm like, wow. So I thought he might be a theory first guy, but he's like he's a feel guy first. So I play on feel and ear and write on feel and ear. That's how I do it. So thanks for the question. Long answer. Man, I go on. I get check myself off sometimes. Yeah, Mason Matlock, you've seen good. Chris Simpson, KW Music, Amin Rakar, Carter Neidig, Adrian, where are you? Sorry, Adrian, I don't want to say it. Takternen. Chris Simpson's here. Max Reporter. I can't say that name. Can we have a jam session? I've been playing for like 10 years. Yeah, let's jam. I can't hear you though. We need to figure out, well, we could go to Zoom, Actually, we should try that right now. I should just go to Zoom right now with all you guys and just put everybody on. Who's in for that? Don't do a hand. Do a thumbs up for whoever would like to do like an instant Zoom session in like 5 minutes, like right now. Okay, let me keep going. Do you have a favorite bass line you created for a Sugar Ray song? Yes, I do, but hold on. Yes to a Zoom call. Oh, it's midnight here. No way, you're in India. That's so rad. That's rad. Okay, good night. Good night, Aman. Have a nice night. Sleep tight. Hey, so let's get to your question. Chris Simpson, let's go. You want to restate it? Your question. You said you wanted to know some advice about the music industry. So that's why I started this whole live stream as a test to see if I can answer your question. But I really want to chat, live chat. I thought I could do that on this. Maybe I'm crazy, but I thought I could, like, you know, share the screen with somebody. Okay, what's your best advice for working in the music industry as a performer in the music business? Okay. Okay, yeah. Yeah, Zoom call could be cool next week. All right, so Chris, on your question, what do you mean exactly? Can I go a little deeper? So you say as a performer and in the music industry, what do you want to do? You tell me what you want to do more clearly. Like, you want to be a composer and work and be the next Hans Zimmer? Or do you want to be a session musician? Do you want to be a live performer who writes songs and then you play on stage in front of thousands of people? Do you want to be like a professional studio musician in Nashville or a drummer? You tell me a little more about yourself. You're welcome. I'm on Rykar. I hope I got your name right. See you later, bud. So I'm waiting on Chris to answer. I asked him back a question about his comment here in the thread in the live chat. Artist relations and work as a session musician. Okay, that's interesting, because I would normally think if you want to be a session musician, you don't want to be an A&R. You know, A&R is like, you're the business side of it. I actually did that my whole life. I've been a musician on the artist side, and then I was doing a label, and it was difficult for me. I think we did okay, but I was a little out of place toward the end, and it got kind of funny. So I much prefer being an artist. But so you're saying art? Now, what do you mean? Give me a little more. Like, what musician? What instrument do you play? As a session musician, you'd want to be, and exactly how would you want to work in artist relations? I need to hear a little more about you before I can answer your question well. Been playing guitar. So Adrian Tactornan just got on. I've been playing guitar for 2 years, and now I should join a band. Yeah. Any advice in picking bandmates? And I will improve if I join a band. Yeah. Good question. I'm going to answer another question right now to Adrian. Adrian, that's great. Absolutely join a band. Don't wait. Start a band right now with people at your level and just have fun. Make sure the number one ingredient to your band is fun. The first band I started was a fictional band. It was my brother, my cousin, and I, and we made it up like a joke. We gave ourselves a joke name. We gave ourselves fictional names. We played on pots and pans, and we would draw stuff. It was like so creative and so silly and fun. Yes, we were just maybe 14, but it was the coolest thing because it just was fun, man. So it needs to come from a place of you enjoying yourself and not having any judgment. You were not good enough. Forget about being good. Be okay with sucking and being bad. You shouldn't worry about how good you are. Music isn't always about how technically good you are. I get so sick and tired of people worrying about that. But so do that. Yes, start a band with people your level and ability. It doesn't matter their age, I guess. You know, that might be nice, you know. But do it for fun. And I think, yes, you will get better. When you have to play with somebody, when you have to play in rhythm and in time with someone, you can't help but get better so quickly. Of course, practice at home, practice to a drum beat, or you can go onto my channel. I have like 5 drum beats. Just press play and just practice. Practice playing simple lines, chords. I'm not sure if you're a bass player, guitar player, or drummer actually, but practice your timing. That's an important thing to do. You got to have pretty good timing to play music because things sound good when they're in rhythm. They're not to be perfect, but it's good to be able to play along and have a good beat to any instrument. That's my answer to you. Okay. Mason, I love the Ramones, of course, but no worries, you don't have a Zoom. Thanks for stopping by, Mason. Chelsea, yes. royalty work and points works when you have written for the artist. Yeah, love your band. And how does royalty work? Mac, it's funny when people have non-names in their YouTube, because I'm calling you Mackie Weeby. It's like, what's your name? Thanks for loving our band. Royalties is actually a very difficult thing, but because there's a couple different sources of revenue that come in if you write a song. There's ultimately, when you make money, it's in the writing of the song and the recording of the song. There's two things. Somebody or a group of people have written it. Then it's recorded. Like, you could write a song and don't even record it. Like, you give it to someone else and they make it a hit. Well, they get money too, because they get paid for the recording of it. The recording of a song has its own art and its own talent and ability for being great. You can make the coolest song and somebody records it in a terrible way. It doesn't sound good. So they're both super important. So that's how you make money in music. It's the writing of an original composition, intellectual property, and then the recording of that property, doing it well or whatever. That's a very basic way. Then there's other stuff around it, but that's one way to look at it. Because I'm actually confused by it. I should have a guest on and who's properly versed in royalties and all that. But just keep writing. It's a good problem to have if you actually have people saying, hey, this is a great song. Let's get it published and get it recorded. So just keep working and keep writing and keep putting yourself out there. Okay, so yeah, I'm Coco Crisp. Hey, there's Coco Crisp. Thanks for stopping by. I don't keep in touch with Aaron Rodgers. It's been a while. Aaron Rodgers, the quarterback for the Green Bay Packers. I was working for him and his boutique independent record label for about 5 years. We had a lot of fun. We signed a couple artists, and it was challenging because it's not easy to be a boutique independent little label. But I learned a lot, so it was a great experience. 14-year-old would never believe your music journey. I know. What's a good first electric guitar? Maxwell Porter. It depends. You did say electric. I thought you said guitar. It's funny. I was actually talking to Doc, my good friend who is the guitar doctor in Southern California here. And he was saying that the cheaper guitars that people are making nowadays are so much better. The ones that are made in like Indonesia and stuff. I believe when I was coming up, I don't know, I think maybe they're made in China or something, or Japan. I don't know, but they're so much better now than they were then. Like, a cheap guitar back then when I was younger sucked. And then now they actually make them really good. So, my advice to you would be go to a guitar store and play a couple, and just see what you like. Just get your hands on a couple guitars and play them, and then go from there. I want to get back to Chris's here. Okay, here he goes. How does one know if they are improving a guitar if we are self-taught? Chris, I'm going to get to you in a second. That question, I'm going to say, are you enjoying yourself more? I think this whole world is obsessed with being technically good. Not the whole world. We are. I actually like this. This is fun. But I wish I could hear you guys. I wish it could be like a Zoom. It'd be rad if I had like little thumbnails going all around the screen of your faces and you could talk. I guess that's a Zoom. Maybe we'll get to that. But I think we're so critical. Music to me is not a race to be technically good. It's just not. It's expressive. It's a lot of things, and it's not just the race to try to see who's best and who can play the fastest. So my question to you is, how do you know if you're getting better? Are you enjoying yourself more? That might sound weird, but I don't care. I think how much you enjoy yourself playing is where it's at. I think, of course you can learn a little more technically. You can learn a few more scales, but I learned like this Augmented Scale years ago. He's going to play it for you. And I never played it. It was a weird scale. I don't think it's diminished. I think it's. It's kind of weird. It sounds funny. Like, somebody taught me that. I'm like, hey, that's weird. That sounds crazy. I never used it ever. I've known it for like 25 years and I never, ever used it. I like, when you listen to popular music, it's not about like this perfect technical thing. It's about the groove, the rhythm, the feel, the style of the vocal. It's just more about feel to me, music, than anything else. So that's what I go on. So moving forward, that's moving forward. Here we go. Okay, Mac, I'll call you Mac. Thank you for clearing that up. Yeah, you're welcome. No worries. My first time doing a live thing too on YouTube. I've done it on Facebook and all that. So let's get back to Chris, because this was the original reason why I started this. And I want to actually start doing this on Saturdays, excuse me, at 11 o'clock, because I sometimes enjoy Marty's. Marty does a live stream every Saturday at 1. So if I do mine at 11, I can do mine, take a little break, go get some lunch, and then go watch Marty's at 1. Or maybe be a guest on Marty's again, because he had me on. I was the last, excuse me. I was the last guest on Marty Music's live stream before this whole, global shutdown. So if ever opens up again, maybe I'll get back on there with him and play some more stuff, play some more Sugar Ray tunes. Okay, so back to you, Chris. I'm currently a music business student with the concentration with guitar. I'm looking to work as a guitarist, doing sessions and playing live shows. Okay, great. So for that, I would say do recordings and go gig. That's the only way to get experience, recording and seeing if you're good enough. Because session players there's a knack to be one. I know amazing guitar players who aren't session players, but they're just amazing. I don't know what it is. I think maybe you're super connected, or you kind of want to do that. I never wanted to be a session musician. I wanted to be a live, original performer that played my music in front of people. That's just what I wanted to do. So that's why I said this question is so varied. Everything, little differences can make my answer be different than something else. So to your first point right there, I'd say start recording and putting your recordings out there, and start gigging with any gigs you can get into, friends, whatever, on guitar. I really enjoy the background in terms of marketing and A&R and looking for local talent. Okay, what is your best piece of advice? Getting connected to that type of work. All right, well, yeah, I know some vice presidents. I know 2 actually vice presidents of A&R. And one was from a personal friend, and one was part of our, at Atlantic Records for years and years and years. So I would say it really is based on relationships, as anybody would say for almost any business. But just being able to network and have integrity, and I guess be really ambitious, but at the same time have integrity. Maybe there's a difference to just trying to, soullessly climb, the ladder over people and stuff. But if you're really interested and you love finding talent and sharing it, then do that. Find the local talent in your area. I don't know how old you are. Are you 15? Are you 25? Because I was going to say go to clubs and see shows, and just figure out ways to try to share. You could start a channel on Instagram and just have it be your new music discovery page, where in your area you're going out and finding really killer bands and you're sharing them. So it's almost like somebody, I heard this advice years ago. It was about, if you want to be a columnist for a newspaper. Did anyone remember newspapers? It's so dating myself, but I guess you could say a blog too. If you want to be a popular blogger, or if you want to be a columnist, if you're older like me, then just write a column every day. Why do you have to be hired by, the Los Angeles Times, or, the San Francisco, what is the Chronicle, or the Boston? I don't even know, what are the papers, Sacramento Bee. We always used to say the Sacramento Bee, because then we used to do all these interviews in newspapers, and, and what is it? Is it the Boston Herald? What's the Boston paper? Whatever. My point being, just start doing it. Do your column. You're not hired to write one by somebody else. So what? Write one every day. Somehow that, if it's good, or you'll get better by doing it, and then it'll get out there somehow, and somebody go, hey, I got to hire that columnist. What are they writing for? I love that column. That was a great one. So then boom, all of a sudden you're a columnist. So just start doing it. So start gigging and start recording and start sharing, like I said, bands that you just got to get fired up for what you want to do. And then there's nobody can stop you. What as an artist do you want from an A&R person? You know what? We actually didn't need an A&R. We got signed by the boss. We had a weird deal. We didn't get worked for a while. We didn't spend, months and months or whatever, kind of working with an A&R person at our label, and then them saying, yeah, I think I like your stuff. I went to rehearsal. I saw that show, giving advice. We actually just got signed on a video, and we kind of got caught lightning in a bottle for this video and went straight to the top guy. We are a weird case. We are not the norm. But I don't even know. I mean, there are A&R. The music industry is so different now. I feel like A&R people, I don't know. I mean, it's almost like A&R people are like YouTube. There's still got to be people that can actually be the representative of the label and go out and say, hey, we really like you, whether they find you on YouTube or a club or somewhere. So what I don't know what I would want from an A&R person, because I think, I think the music industry's changed. You say you want to be an A&R person, but why? There's YouTube. Bands don't even need A&R people anymore. Some bands, some acts. But ultimately, are you saying that you want to be just you want to work with artists? What about being a manager? You want to be a manager of an artist? Let me get to your last one. Interesting in working in the record label business as well. Finding local talent for voting. Yeah, that's cool. That's what you should do, Chris. Find your local talent and promote it. Help put on shows. Be a friend to bands you like. Somehow help them out. There's the guy who what's his name? He started CD Baby. Anyways, he's got a great book. Let me figure that out. I need to. Oops. Oh, you're still there. Okay, cool. Oh, Derek Sivers. That's right. I know his name. His name is Derek Sivers or Sievers, and he has some rad advice on his website. You should go check that out. He's a prolific writer, and he's just got some fantastic advice. Oh, this is what he said. He said, you know what? You don't need money to help people. Having no money in the beginning of starting something is a bonus for you. It's a good thing because you don't need money to help people. So go help those bands, Chris, and do something for them. They, whether you think if they go on and get a big deal and leave you in the dust, don't worry about it. You'll get yours if you're doing enough to help people and creating a scene or something of value. People will want to be around that. People will reward that. You'll get rewarded back. All right, Adrian. Okay, so let me get to a few more comments here. And then I think we'll wrap this up. Okay, I enjoy playing, but then sometimes I feel bound while trying to improvise. Well, welcome to the club, Let me ask you this. Adrish, I can't say your name right. Why do you feel bound? What are you trying to do? Are you trying to just, what's the point of playing for you? Is it to write? Is it to play with other people? Or is it just to show yourself making videos on YouTube? I kind of need to know what you're doing. I feel bound all the time, but then again, I'm not. And I don't worry about being bound because I'm not trying to do too much. I don't want to do too much. I don't need to know 57 scales or 37 modes. I'm not interested. I'm interested in writing songs that that I can like, and maybe somebody else can really get affected by and go, that's a great song. That's what I'm interested in. And for that, I don't need 37, 50, whatever I said, 57 scales or 37 modes. For that, I don't need that. I'm not bound, because songwriting to me is more important than learning technical ability of how much I can do on a guitar. Chris Simpson, you got it. You're welcome, buddy. Adrian, have a good day. You too. What happened to your greatest baseline series? Did they start blocking you? Ian Wallace, what happened to your greatest bass? Oh, well, what do you mean greatest baseline series, Ian? Well, actually, are you talking about through the decades? Because I had an idea to do the bass lines through the decades. And hey, not all ideas are great. I think it's a good idea. I'll get back to it. But I just had some other stuff to get to. I wanted to get to, I don't want to be stuck in the 50s and 60s just right away. I want to get to those, but I wanted to do the Clash and some other stuff that, that I want to get to. So I wanted to do the guitar giveaway. So Ian, I'm asking you back. Yeah, okay, so that one. No, I'm not going to give that one up. I'm going to get to it, but I think it's just going to be stretched over a longer period of time. I'm not going to just only dedicate myself for the next, however long that would take, month or so or whatever. I'm going to stretch that one over the next year maybe, but I'll get it done. And then it'll eventually be a completed piece. Excuse me. All righty. Yeah, Chelsea, you work at a newspaper. All right, so I love newspapers. What? You know, I don't read that many newspapers anymore, but I do enjoy them. Adrian, you're welcome. Coco, what are some of your favorite hardcore bands? Always dug the Black Flag cover. Yeah, right. Well, what exactly is hardcore? Would the Circle Jerks be hardcore? Would the Dead Kennedys be hardcore? I wouldn't classify the Dead Kennedys as hardcore, even though they're incredible. The Dead Kennedys to me were a big influence because they were a punk band that didn't have to play with super heavy distorted guitar. Jello Biafra was just a maniac in such a cool way to me, and so they were here. I loved them, but give me again. This is a live stream of like I need to know more. What do you mean hardcore? Because there's nowadays hardcore is like screamo or I don't know, but Black Flag was great, yeah. But the Dead Kennedys to me were pretty extreme when I was a kid, and they were like they were gnarly. I mean, In God We Trust with like the upside down cross, it's like, so at that time, the Dead Kennedys were pretty crazy, and I just thought they were awesome. The Boston Globe, exactly. Is there a Boston Herald? I don't know. That's the one I was thinking of, though, Ian, Boston Globe. Chris Simpson, thanks, man. Oh, you're welcome. No worries. Like I said, I need to know a little more, and I think, I think. You know what you're doing, man. Just work hard and connect with people, be real about it. And it's cool to be ambitious. People like ambitious people, but they also like people that aren't just trying to climb a ladder and step on everybody else's, on the way up. So people remember you if you're kind, I think. Brian Ulster, what's up? Have your musical taste changed since the 90s, early 2000s? How do you feel about the current state of mainstream pop and rock? That's a very good question. People will say like rock is dead. There's just a few rock bands left, like Foo Fighters or whatever. And then it's metal, and then the subgenre of hardcore metal. So it's not the heyday anymore of like the Scorpions, Led Zeppelin, Van Halen, there's a lot of other stuff. So musical taste, I don't know. I think I'm just still obsessed with songs, Brian. I'm obsessed with songwriting, and if I hear somebody write a great song, I don't care whether it's, the melody is cool or the bass line and the drums have a hooky thing with a keyboard. It ultimately always comes down to me being raised on the record collection that I was raised on. I just love songs where you've got an incredible melody, but it could be like The Weeknd or something. Or who's that? There's one great bass line I got to do from that artist that was a guest on The Voice. Who is she? Let me find it real quick here. Because I get bass lines you should know. No, I need to go to this one. No. Hang on with me. 10 newer. Oh, Don't Start Now. No, I'm not going to be able to hear that. Oh, maybe you can. Can you hear that? Is it Dua Lipa? And that song is, I think that song's really cool, actually. The bass line's insane. And it's hooky, man. It's catchy. I like catchy. I don't think catchy is bad. And then Billie Eilish has got a killer song, not Bad Guy, but I love Everything I Wanted. Yeah, that's a great song, man. The moment I heard that song, I'm like, that's a fantastic song. So whether it's, I don't care who you are. I don't care what you look like. If you can write a great song and make it melodic and suck me in as a listener, then you have my attention. So that's my answer to you, Brian, about music from now, whenever, when I was a kid, through the decades, through the 80s, 90s, 2000, thousands. I just like songs. So give me a melody, and hopefully I don't know. It doesn't have to be like a heavy groove or a heavy great beat or something. It could be a mellow song. That Everything I Wanted, Billie Eilish song, is a very low key mellow beat, but it's perfect for the tune. All right, so I want to write and compose songs, but I feel that maybe what I play is the technique. Okay, no, you're wrong. What's your name, man? Adrarsh Tripthy? I can't say your name. Am I saying it right? Could you please let me know? I want to answer your question. You want to write? Okay, then write. There's no rules, man. You could write a song that's 20 seconds. Excuse me. And I want to cuss right now because I want to say There's no rules, man. So stop thinking there are. It's an excuse, and it's being lazy, and it's worthless. So get inspired. And the reason why you put limitations on ourselves like that, like you're worried about what's technically correct, is because you're worried about what other people think. That's it. And I'm guilty of that too. That's why I'm actually doing this channel. I'm trying to put myself out there more. And I have so much music that I haven't shared on this channel. It's insane. I'm doing all these covers. I feel like I'm not even scratching the surface of what I need to be sharing. I've written so many songs that no one knows about right now that I think are really good. And I want to share them with you. And yeah, so I'm guilty of the same thing right now. But I'm going to fight through that, and we should fight through that. So write your songs. Do not put a limit on how long they are. Do not put a limit on how many or few chords you use. And you don't even have to sing. You don't have to have lyrics. Just make it an instrumental if you want. Or sing, write some lyrics or something. So get that out of here. That's bad news to say that you think what you think is not technically correct. There's no such thing. Okay, next. Ivan Ibanez, Ken S said Ivan Ibanez ATK300. A Fender P bass. Wow, you got a lot of basses. Wow. Nice, dude. You got a lot of good stuff. You got a Fender P bass. That's killer. You got a G&L SP2. Great. You don't need any more. I mean, I one time on tour, in the middle of Sugar Ray, I probably had like 6 maybe basses. I don't know, 5, 6 or 7. I don't even know. Not like 20 and not 2. But I just don't need that many anymore. Why would I need that many? I'm not a collector. I don't need to have 27 basses. I think I have 4, you know. I got 3 in here. I have my 2 G&Ls. I have my the green one. That was the one on our 4th record. And then I have a Fender Mustang at home that I bought for my son that I play too. It's cool. So that's great. Good on you. Yes, that one. Okay, cool. How would you find a way to jam? How you find a way to jam with other musicians online? Chris Simpson. You know what? I don't. It's funny. We've thought about trying to make an app that you could jam together, but there's nothing that can replace getting into a room with other people. Just as a meeting on Zoom can be okay, but face-to-face with another human being for a business deal is just like, it's where it's at. It's just, I don't know. You can never replace the human connection. This is just digital and computers, and it's great. It's really nice. But especially with music, when you have to do things in rhythm and in harmony and together, it's if somebody can pull it off someday, great. But it shouldn't take the place of getting together with other people in a room like this and playing. You know, the one cool thing I'll say about that is because when you can hear the little subtleties and the nuances, and you can go, oh, what was that? If somebody went off to the corner and started playing something, you could follow them over there, and then you can start. Songs have been written like that, like where it's not always like, okay, here we go, we're checking in. Great songs have been written when you go off for a second and you go out of the room, and then somebody goes over there by the coffee machine and you just boom, so that's one thing. You can't do that on Zoom. You can't go get coffee, each person off camera, and write a song together. So that's well, Pokey. You know what's funny? I just, I should love it, man, because the world loves it, but I'm not. I wish I was a fan. Should I learn multiple instruments, or should I just focus on one? Adrian, I don't know. I started with multiple when I was younger because I wanted to write songs, so I learned guitar, and bass was my favorite to play always. So I always played bass. But to write songs, I would play guitar. So learn a couple. Doesn't matter. Okay, Sam, nice. I'll just call you Sam. Was it weird touring after Fly blew up? Did all the heavier music on Floored, Lemonade and Brownies? The cows? Yeah, it did. Where you were fans band? Yeah. You bought Floored in 6th grade. That's rad. Chat. Yeah, it did. But you know what? It did, but not too bad. You know what's funny? We were on the Warped Tour when Fly came out. Like, that's crazy, right? I mean, we have the whole Lemonade and Brownies first record. It's all heavy. And then Florida is all pretty heavy. And we got one slow song. And so we played a full heavy set. And then we always put Fly toward the end of the set. Maybe second to last. And we'd end with Mean Machine or something. And so it was weird. Like, we saw, like, there's like skinheads and dudes with, like, mohawk, punk rockers, and kind of going like, what? Because we'd be rocking the whole set. And then now it's like this song, and they'd be kind of like, they wouldn't know what to do. They were like, but then a little bit into it, they saw that a lot of people were enjoying the song, and they kind of started to like try to figure out how to rock to fly. So that was cool. That like more hardcore fans were cool about it. And what happened was fans just totally, we got a new bunch of people that didn't know Lemonade Brownies and didn't know anything about us hard. They only knew Fly. So they're like, wow, you guys play hard rock music too? So, but it just, it was what it was. We're like, who cares? We wrote this strange song and people seem to like it and we like it. So whatever, we'll deal with our imbalance of music in the set being heavy to light. So like, let's just have fun. So that's what we did. Okay. What's one of your funniest? Yeah. Coco. One of my, people ask that a lot. That's probably the single most asked question when you're in a band. Do you have any funny touring stories? What happened while on the road? We certainly had our fun on the road. We drank a lot. It's funny because when we started, let me explain why. I don't want to condone that to anybody. But I'll explain why. It's because when we started, we had so much fun. When we got together in a room, the four of us was such an energy. And then when Craig fit perfectly, but it was just this weird combustible energy that we had. It was crazy. Imagine, it's like having being married to like a bunch of people. It's crazy. But so the energy was like just kinetic for some reason. And we really just wanted to have our fun. We were priding ourselves on the fact that we weren't U2 and we weren't trying to like change the world. Even though we worked really hard, we were just like, we just want to play simple music and really have a good time. And we love the Beastie Boys and we love like AC/DC. So we certainly had our fun at gigs and we just went nuts. And then when we got a deal, we felt like we didn't want to sell out and change and be like all serious because we got a deal. We're like, okay, we got to be the same band. So we attempted to do that same raging party we had before we got signed. But the problem was that is one gig, like one a month that you would psych yourself up for, have all the energy for, and party for. But now you're doing every night, 5-6 nights in a row. So we wrecked ourselves. And because we thought, let's not change, let's be ourselves. But eventually you figure out, okay, we're going to kill it. We got to mellow out here and just find a balance of something, So So there was a lot of funny touring stories because of the fact that I could make an entire live streaming based on that question, Coco. I'd have to probably write down 20 in advance. There's just too many, and they're way too embarrassing. In Germany that one night when I drank a whole bottle of red wine after the show or during the show, and I don't even know how much I drank, and I wound up streaking down a street in Berlin at like 1 a.m. and I think it was raining. No, not raining. It was just cold and wet. And I'm like, how did I not get tackled, mugged, thrown in jail, or just abducted? I don't know, but thank the Lord that he said, okay, let this pass. So there's tons of embarrassing moments on the road, but I don't know if that's a fun memory. It was a memory. So, okay, we're gonna wind up this live chat or this live stream, whatever it is. Should I also write down stuff that I come up with? Adrian, you're asking me that question because okay, of course you should. Yeah, Adrian, you're asking if you should. Yeah, of course. The first few days I got a bass, I wrote a song, and I'll explain to you why you should do it because this sucks. And I got a song, but I didn't care. My best probably attribute was the fact that I just didn't care. I wasn't worried about whether I thought I was good enough. For some reason, I just had such a desire to play and to write that I didn't even care. I didn't even worry if I was good enough. So very naive. And so I wrote, it's not even a song. It's not even a melody. It's just a couple of... just two notes, you know, one is staying constant the entire time, the open G string. The other one moves a little bit. And I literally wrote that. Like that's not much, right? It's terrible. Well, I'm not gonna say it's terrible. I'm not gonna crap on it. I'm gonna say it's just super basic and kind of whatever. But to me, it was cool. And so what I did was I took that tiny line and I go, hey, I got a song. And so with a couple other buddies, we put that together. And then the guitar player made some rad harmonics. The drummer made some high cymbal sounds, and it was all mellow. And we tried to make a melody. No, we didn't make a melody. We just made an instrumental section right there. And then, you know, went into like, we used those same notes that I was playing on the D string in like a fast punk rock way of playing it down. So then we had a song, you know. So that's how it starts. You have to start. The reason why I say is it's good to suck and not worry is because you can write something like that that's just like not even a song, and it's so simple and almost dumb. You can take that and then turn it in and go, okay, now let's do this to that. It's like clay, you know. A tiny musical riff is like clay. Make it simple, and then you can kind of just bend it in and twist it and put it on the, what do you call it? When you throw clay or whatever, and then you bake it and you paint it, and all of a sudden you got something different from when it started as a little piece of clay. And now you got this cool plate or pot or something. So there you go. So yes, write down and record all the stuff you're doing. Okay, Jake Sowers. Hey man, what's up, Jake? I think GarageBand allows for, yeah, but don't worry about online jam sessions, Ian. Just write your own stuff. Sam, work on it. Good. Keep it up. Don't worry about anyone thinks. Let me know your progress, okay? I think it'd be fun to do Saturday. Excuse me. It'd be fun to like connect every Saturday. If anybody's interested in like doing, I'd like to hear your riffs and work with you and comment on them or something, or offer advice like this, but actually hear the stuff you're making. Did I ever write lyrics? You know what? It's a great question. One of my favorite lyrics is Falls Apart. I did the video yesterday. It was, people see right through you, everyone who you knew well. And I sang the melody too. So that's one of my most proud favorite lyrics, because I feel like it's got a little depth. What I was talking about at the time, Falls Apart. Mark came up with Falls Apart, the lyric and the melody. But I wrote that part in that middle part of the B section, when the bass goes to D and then C, and he's still on F. It was about people looking straight through you and not seeing you as who you really are, because they're worried about appearance or if you're cool or important, but not really seeing the real you. So that's what that song was to me about. You're welcome, Sam, for the live stream. Coco, yeah. Yeah, Berlin was crazy, Coco. I mean, it's like, I don't know. I don't recommend it to anybody. It didn't do anything for me. What was important that night was what we did on stage. So that's what I would focus on from that night. But I'm not going to deny it. I'm going to say, you know, touring. Yeah, that'd be cool to bring in some old bandmates to talk about touring stories, because people seem to really want to know. And I suppose it's probably not about just the like, oh man, what, you know, I mean, we had moments where, you know, we met Elton John backstage. Elton John came backstage at a show in Las Vegas and was all like, hey boys, I can't do his voice, but what an honor for him to come backstage. I mean, of course he's locking eyes with Mark, I think, but he came backstage to say great show. I mean, are you kidding me? You know, so we were lucky enough to meet a lot of incredible people and play with some incredible artists. So I think a lot of it would be dedicated to that, not just how wasted did you get, you know, all that kind of stuff. It's like what interesting things happen. And so that would probably be a really good one. Okay. Is it just me, or does that red guitar in the background have no pickups? Yeah, that's funny looking. It does. It looks like that to me too, but no, it's got pickups. See, it's just like the weird, you know, it's got pickups. It's just the weird way, you know, my web camera is showing that guitar. Okay, we're wrapping up. I'll take a last question. Yes, you're welcome. There's actually a shellac song. Wow, I think I know that band. First thing, oh really? It's a shellac. Am I saying that right? Song. Are they from Europe? Or are they from the States? The first thing you ever wrote, they made it a full song with different parts. Yeah, you know, Chet. You never know. Hey, bartender, how you doing, bud? What's up? Yes, do that, please. Oh, okay, yeah, to that. Always been one of my favorite. Yeah. Well, because, Chelsea, I think it's talking about something that's real, something that is emotional for us, that we feel. We feel overlooked a lot. I think generally people are underconfident. I think generally people walking around every day, we're not like beaming with great confidence, all day long. I think that, whatever it's from, whether it's media pressure to act like you look like that person with like that body or whatever. I think we're constantly being challenged to feel confident. So I think that's why, I don't know where it came from. I was actually thinking of my cousin, actually, Lindsay. She's a little bit younger than me. And for some reason, she seemed, at the time, she was kind of frail and kind of insecure, which, again, could be anybody. It could have been me thinking of myself in school, big time in high school. But for some reason, I just keyed on that. I'm like, oh, okay. Who knows where, like, inspiration or ideas or things, how they come through you. And when they do, just sing them, write them down, or share them. So yeah, I think that's why that lyric resonated with me as well, Chelsea. That it was just, I don't know. It feels good to share when you feel something that's, out of sorts, and it just somehow makes you feel better. So anyways, alrighty. I literally expected this to be like 20 minutes long or 30 minutes long. We've gone 50 minutes. So shot of water. So my purpose for this, though, is handled. Chris Simpson hit me up on Instagram with a question about working in the music biz, and I said, well, I'd love to answer that, but can I answer it better? Why don't we live chat? Why don't we live stream? An even better way would be to do it to, like, get have the shared faces on the screen. That'd be really cool. And you can do that on Facebook, I know. And can you do that on Instagram? I'm not sure, but I'll look into that, being able to do it here. And I also want to be able to figure out how I can have my music where you guys can hear it and have it really sound good too. I know a lot of people do it on YouTube, and I think I'd like to start doing it, but I got to figure out how to do that so you can hear my voice well. And I like good audio. I think that when hey, look, my mom's on. Maybe I got to extend this. Mom's just got on. Wendy Sayers. Okay, whoever's on right now, everybody say hi to Wendy. Say hi, or say hi, Mimi. That'd be awesome. I will love you guys if you do that. Everybody give my mom some love right now. Go. Yeah, here we go. Come on. I love you guys. You guys rock. No, I actually do feel like, to be honest, it's just weird. I feel like I've created, or we've created a community. I started posting some stuff, and I remember, the first, I thought Debbie Jones was going to be the first, the Sugar Ray Superfan was going to be the first subscriber. She was actually the second, and I actually wanted her to be number one. And when I started my channel last August, she's number two. I think a guy named Tom got in and got number one, but excuse me. I really feel like we've created a community here, and I want to connect more. So that's why I'm doing this live streaming thing. I'm going to do it every Saturday, and I'm going to be setting up some content where I do different stuff. That, again, like I said earlier in this live stream, I don't want to just be doing bass parts to the recorded thing. I might be sharing some of my music, hanging with other artists, and just kind of doing a little more. So all in an effort, honestly, to connect with you guys more. That's the total honesty, because that's what I want to do. And I like that. It kind of feels like I'm back on the road in some way, playing or connecting. Because when you go out and you play in a band, which sucks right now because nobody can play live, with what's going on with, COVID-19, we're all still like, it's crazy. And you can't go play live. So how do we connect? I mean, anybody having trouble right now with this? It sucks. We're doing our best. You wear masks, you social distance, you wash your hands all the time, but it's cool to connect with people. And so I love this, and I want to do this more, and that's it. So let me read some stuff. You guys rock. I love every one of you who said hi to my mom. Thank you. Oh, Brian, that's all time, dude. You win. Yeah, that's funny. So Brian just said, tell us some embarrassing stories of your son. That's good, man. Nah, Tom from MySpace. That's funny. Yeah. No, just some dude. I don't know. I could look him up actually, but anyway. So my point was that I have loved creating. I have loved starting it, and then I've loved what everyone has done to chime in and talk about the videos. But I really want to make something where we can talk together almost in like real time, and we create a community, and I listen to you guys, and I just want to help anybody out there learn music, encourage you, because I think everybody can do it. I really do. I think it's baloney that only like talented people can play music. I don't think that's true. That's just like judgment and fear. Music it's not that difficult. And I'm actually going to be also making a guitar series for guitar and bass to teach you how to play better than, blah, blah, blah. It's going to be a series based on what I've said here, that I think fear keeps us back and judgment keeps us back. It's really not that hard to learn. And I know how, because I've done it. You just have to be more excited about the things you're doing. It's okay to be like, man, I made a cool sound, like one sound. Get stoked on that. That's where it's at. So anyways, some fun stuff coming up. Let me read a few comments, and then American Pig is my hero. Nice. A Fresh Ablaze. American Pig, man, was a great tune live early on. It was just such a headbanger. I'd have Rodney and I and Mark would have like, we call it rocker neck, because we'd bang our heads during our shows so hard for so long, you'd literally have a headache the next day. You'd just be like, oh, I got rocker neck, I can't move. But like I said, it was okay because we didn't have another show for like 40 days. But then you go on the road and the first week, you're like, I'm so sore. I got a show tonight. I can't even move. So that's what you had to figure out, how to change your band. Not change, adapt. You had to figure out how to adapt to playing every night. When you used to kill yourselves for one night, only out of 2 months, you had to adapt. More live streams will be, they're on their way. Legally Wendy's Karges. Well, I mean, I do. Who doesn't care about people, right? We get caught up though, I guess. You're always looking to change that. That's why, I mean, literally, I do. I think that people can learn music. So if anybody out there, just you wait and see. The series is going to be rad. It's going to be a very simple series. If anybody out there who watches my channel wants to learn guitar or bass or ukulele or whatever, I think it might include ukes too. I'd be stoked for you to try this. I might do like a beta thing where I just give it to some people. A lot of it will be free, and like probably 75% of it will be free, but then some might be a paid for thing or whatever. But I'm really curious to hear. I'd love to hear feedback on like, hey, this actually does what it says you're saying it will do. So anyways, all right. Oh yeah, the funniest one. Can I send a photo somehow? I don't know. That's a good question. Can you put a photo on here? Can you like dump a photo in? I have no idea. Anyways, Audacity to edit, produce our recordings with music software. So the last question. I use Logic, Apple's Logic Pro X, and it's great. I also use Premiere to do my videos that you guys watch on YouTube. I use Premiere Pro for Adobe. It's great. And I do a decent amount of audio tweaking in Adobe, in Premiere. But that's it. Yeah, so very cool. All righty. That's hilarious. Anybody ever do that? Put these glasses on. It's hard to see that the cap was on. All right. So any last question? And again, thank you all for saying hi to my mom. You guys rock. I'll do one last question for anybody if you have a final question before we sign off today. And by the way, we should all go jump over to Marty's live stream. He's going to start at 1 o'clock. He always does a Saturday 1 p.m. live stream. So I'll give like a little wrap-up question segment here. Here's some strings. I got a 3-string. Oh, here's some fun stuff. Look at this. I've been going through my old archives. Look at this. This is the original When It's Over single, man. Like, where does that come from? How do I show it without like a giant? There we go. Can you see that? It's too much reflection. That's pretty crazy though, right? Look at that. Look at the face I'm making. I was joking right there. Look at that. It's like, what kind of face am I making in the back? That was a brown suit. I had that suit forever. I actually probably gonna do some giveaways on some of these. I just have too many, you know, like this Japanese. I don't even know what this is. Like, what's that? You know, this is cool. Like, this is like a mix from the studio. I think this was, oh, this is 1459, like 8 mixes, like on that CD. Like, just, we were in the studio, we were writing, and like, look at the titles. Even though I can't read it backwards. South Park! That's right. We had a song we were calling South Park for the time being. Someday Aim for Me, Every Morning Ode, The Avengers. The Avengers, Someday Recall. So like, that's cool to have. That's like a demo disc when we were in the studio. That's another When It's Over. Like, what? We were goofballs, right? Here's like an unopened Japanese 4th record. Look at that thing. And then here's the 1459 unopened Japanese. How cool is that? Like, look at that. It's so rad right there. And then the back. And then a floored unopened Japanese. I have all 3. This is like, I love this. But I don't, what am I going to do with it? Just keep it? Why would you keep something and not, you know? The Best of Sugar Ray. All kinds of fun stuff, right? Look at this. Chasing You Around, a single. Like, nobody saw this. It's fun to have some of these, you know? Like, that's the Chasing You Around single that they give you. It's like a promo thing. This is the one they give to, like, radio, you know? Anyway, so, but you normally people don't get to see that. But I always would get my hands on stuff and be like, oh, this, I'm going to end with this. Hey, who gave me this? I still have this. Somebody. It's cool, right? Somebody gave us that. And so that was always fun to have. From Virginia. All right, any last questions? Wendy gets to handle that? Yeah, she should, right? With a name like Murphy, are you Irish? Absolutely. Look at my mom, Wendy Sayers. Sayers is totally Irish. My mom could talk about that. Her dad came over from Ireland, so it's a lot of Irish. That's what Murphy's from. Murphy Lumber. Can I send a photo somehow, Mom? See your dad said. Okay. I still buy CDs. Awesome, man. That's so retro. Right. I have that stand-up display 6 feet from Sam Goody. Nice. I don't know which one I was showing when you said that. Ken, Chelsea. Looks like Japanese to me, right? His great-grandpa. Yeah, there you go. I just said this. Her grandpa. Oh, I had it a little wrong. Yeah. Great. Her grandpa, not her dad. How cool is that? Look at that. She's saying it right there in the live chat. She's saying, my great-grandpa came from Ireland. His other great-grandpa was Ellsworth Murphy, owned Murphy Lumber Company in Akron, Ohio. How cool is that, right? Florida is a cool album. It is. It's cool to hear that Murphy is the first name. No, yeah, I know, Ian. Like, it's been my middle, because my name is Matthew Murphy Karges, but I was given Murphy at a super young age. Like, I don't know. I was tiny still. And for some reason, it's a weird story, actually. We'll get to that some other time. A friend of my parents named me that. I always thought they gave it to me. Because no, this really, it was like a race car driver. He was some cool friend. Said, no, that's not a Matthew, that's a Murph. As he was looking at me in my crib. But I'm like, Dad, you let some, okay, you know, I like the name. All right, so here we go. We're wrapping up here. No, CDs are great. They're great. I'm just saying I have them. Little Saint Nick. You remember that? Who remembers that? Little Saint Nick. All right. Thank you, Afresh Ablaze. I appreciate that, saying that RPM still has a great sound. All right. Okay, guys. So we just hit an hour. We're done. I want to say thanks for everybody stopping in and jumping on and asking me questions. Second spin. Yeah, that's right. I want to say thanks to everybody for stopping in and asking me questions. It's been a lot of fun. This is my first test. I entitled it, when you have to do a title for a live show, I'm like, first test YouTube. So I've never done this. And I guess I wasn't even considering putting this on my channel. I was going to consider to just, delete it. Like, just make it a live thing where I talk to you guys and just make it go away. Because I'm kind of a stickler for like the video and the audio to sound really good. And I had no idea, like, I got like a pillow over there. I got like, I look like whatever I look like. So, but I don't know. I don't even know. I'm going to hit end stream and then maybe it'll go up on the channel. So again, thank you so much for joining. I appreciate it. I love your support. It's very cool. I love this community that we've kind of created that you guys have helped make by connecting with me. I appreciate it. I dig it. So that's it. So for now, that's it. And Saturday afternoon, I think, unless you're in India like that earlier person that he's going to bed, I think. Have a great day. Talk to you soon. Okay, bye.